Hello everyone, I am Kusensei and I do this video for us to talk about Bujinkan Ninjutsu training method and I explore what is criticized all around internet and why I tell you it's truly working for self-defense. What it has to be understood in Bujinkan training is that a single technique is a really small part of a real fight. It represents around a quarter second. When we want to apply Bujinkan Ninjutsu in a real life, we will need to do a many technique at the same time, otherwise it will never work for sure. I will explain what I mean by that and what we see all around internet and YouTube about technique of Bujinkan. It is only one of the examples, 6 or 7 dojo technique we need to do to accomplish a real combat technique during 1 or 2 seconds. I explain myself. I always do a distinction between dojo technique and combat technique. A dojo technique is a way to practice the coordination, the precision, the timing, footwork, arm work, and learn how to move in a battlefield with obstacles. You see what I mean? It's conditioning, not fighting. And for sure, a dojo technique will never work by itself in a fight, and it's here the confusion on internet because almost all the video about Bujinkan we see show only dojo technique. I don't know why, but there's not a lot of sensei showing the concept of combat technique that is crucial to make Bujinkan work in street. One combat technique is constituted around of 5 to 10 technique execute at the same time. Combat technique are a combination of what we call inashikata and shuto empa. Inashikata is a combination of combat stand, a strike, and a kyushu, a more sensible body part to strike. Shuto empa is the capacity to adapt in doing a subsequent of 5 to 10 alpha technique. It means that we do a series of techniques that are unfinished. I'll do more video about this kind of concept in the future, but now it's not the question. And seriously, I am really disappointed that we almost never heard of this on the internet. It's completely crucial because it is what we will make the technique work in real life. About combat technique, we never practice this in dojo because fighting needs to be completely instinctive. It cannot be a mental application of technique already learned by heart. It will not work for sure. In a fight, it's always foggy and blue when we receive hits. We do not have time to think of, okay, I will do this, and then finish with this technique. The time we think this, we are already on the ground with bloody face. So the training goal is to prepare itself in the dojo work or instinctive reaction of our body to learn the capacity to create in a split of second any kind of combat technique that are realistic and will work. It is a complete creative process in a millisecond of time. When the attack comes, absolutely no thinking time, otherwise it will not work for sure. It needs to be direct response of the body, not the mind. It needs to be muscle memory, not brain memory. It is why in Bujinkan we do not learn any technique by heart. It's only training and start again. Never the same technique, but always the same concept. Watch my word here. The dojo technique will not be applicable in combat situation, but the fighting concept will be, and that it is what we train in dojo, the concept, not the technique itself. We use the technique to make our body and spirit understand the concept and the movement to create muscle memory. At this point, it will be possible to apply this in a real fight. It is the basic thing to have to get a small chance to defend himself. After, a lot of other situational parameters can play their role that can get us win or lose, but this, it will be for others video. Here, I want to state only the training method and applicable technique of Bujinkan Ninjutsu. Here, See this of me applying a combat technique against a resisting opponent. Here we are come back. Now that you saw the comeback technique, I'll explain to you all the dojo technique I need to learn and train during my career to be able to apply this correctly and make it work in real life. It's hours and hours. I'll show them in the way of the dojo training like we see in almost Bujinkan video. It would help to understand the confusion about Bujinkan effecacity. Here we are coming back again. So you see, I needed a total of 9 dojo technique to execute this 1-2 second compact fighting technique. And more, we have to understand that we were still in dojo environment. I mean, this was still not the exact same thing than a real fight. Here at Garigina, we try to get as close as possible of the reality of a street fight, but in a dojo training, will never be the same level. It's why practicing sparring is very important to understand what works and what does not work. Really, really important. Come back to our fighting technique. To get to the application possibility you saw on the video, we need the 9 dojo technique trained and work separately in a dojo, and those techniques are what you see in almost Bujinkan video on the internet. And it's there that the confusion is created because the video can push to think that they are real combat technique, but they are not. Like I said, those techniques applied separately will almost never work in a street situation. To finish, I say it again, dojo technique are not combat technique. When it comes to Bujinkan training, always keep in mind of Inashi kata and Shuto Empa is truly important, otherwise your taijutsu will not work in street situation. Hope this video will make you understand the concept of the Bujinkan training method of the ancient Japanese shinobi martial art. It was Kusensei from Guerrier du Nord. Gambate!